The group crept toward the dark, worn staircase, each footstep reverberating through the eerie silence as they ascended. Suddenly their eyes locked onto a strange glowing sign that flickered ominously with the number 18. The man leading them froze, sensing they were on the brink of something momentous. The tension thickened as the man with the flashlight faltered, his voice shaky as he questioned whether they should really push on to the 18th floor. Behind him the boy gripped his tool tightly, his face pale with unease as memories of their previous terrifying encounters flashed through his mind, amplifying the group's growing dread. But the third member, wearing dark sunglasses, remained unfazed, a smirk crossing his face as he mocked their fear with a cold, dismissive tone, brushing off the rising anxiety. He scoffs at the group, mocking the idea of believing in ghosts in the 21st century, his words dripping with sarcasm. But the man with the flashlight, now resolute, cuts through the tension, his voice steady as he reminds them that Mr. Zhang entrusted them with this mission, and failure is simply not an option. Though the boys' anxiety lingers, they press on, each step echoing ominously in the dark staircase. The boy, his voice trembling, voices his growing doubts, questioning if they can truly trust the woman, or if she's leading them into a trap. Unbeknownst to them, someone monitors their every move through a drone camera, a shadowy figure's voice crackling over the feed, urging them to trust Mr. Zhang's judgment and finish the mission. The urgency in the voice only heightening the stakes as time runs short. The scene cuts sharply to Han Feng and the girl, their eyes glued to the surveillance feed. A smirk plays on Han Feng's lips as he remarks how lucky they were to have set up the monitoring system in advance. Every movement of the group is under their watchful eye. Clad in his signature green jacket, Han Feng shifts gears, initiating Plan B. "I'm going to start the fire," he says with a sinister edge, turning to the girl. "When I get back, be ready." The tension skyrockets as they prepare to unleash their meticulously crafted plan. Han Feng glances at his stopwatch. Timing is everything. In the background, the girl works feverishly, focused and ready for what's to come, both of them locked into the countdown of a deadly game. The air is thick with anticipation as the moment to strike draws near. With precision in mind, the countdown ticks mercilessly. 2 minutes left. The tension mounts as every second slips away. The group pushes onward, the air thick with dread as the man leading them suddenly stops. "Do you hear that?" he asks, his voice low and strained. A strange noise echoes from above. The boy and the girl exchange uneasy glances, their anxiety spiking as they recall the ghost-like entity they faced before. Then, without warning, eerie lights flicker to life at the top of the staircase, casting strange shadows and raising the suspense to a fever pitch. Out of nowhere, a small, deadly toy vehicle bursts into view, armed with explosives and racing toward them with terrifying speed. The group barely has time to react as the vehicle barrels down the stairs, its relentless approach driving the chase into pure chaos. The sound of its whirring motor amplifies the panic, each second feeling like an eternity as the group faces imminent danger, the tension pushing to its absolute breaking point. Debris flies in every direction as one of the vehicles hurtles toward them, a blur of motion and chaos. The man in the lead shines his flashlight on it, his eyes narrowing in confusion. "What is that?" he mutters, disbelief creeping into his voice as he strains to make sense of it. "A toy car?" The words barely leave his lips before the reality hits, his blood runs cold. The miniature vehicle is armed with explosives. His confusion turns to horror in an instant as he gets a closer look. The danger is undeniable now. Before he can shout a warning, the vehicle zips past him, its deadly cargo seconds from detonation. The air crackles with impending doom. Time seems to slow as the toy car erupts in a fiery explosion, the blast ripping through the space with a thunderous roar. Flames and shrapnel engulf the area in a blinding flash, the sheer force of the explosion sending shockwaves through the stairwell as chaos unfolds around them. The group's world is consumed by fire and debris, the tension snapping into an overwhelming wave of destruction. The shockwave tears through the surroundings, shaking the ground beneath them and leaving the group to confront the deadly aftermath. After the explosion, a thick cloud of ash swirls around them, engulfing everything in choking darkness. The boy stumbles, his vision blurred, screaming out in agony, "My eyes, they're burning!" Another voice, panicked and lost, echoes through the chaos. "Where is everyone?" Amidst the suffocating smoke, confusion reigns. Until suddenly a strange vehicle emerges from the haze, hovering above them, surrounded by eerie, glowing orbs. The man in sunglasses, usually calm and dismissive, looks up in stunned disbelief, frozen as the new threat descends with an ominous hum. The air crackles with tension as the hovering menace looms closer, its unknown power and purpose amplifying the danger. The group, still reeling from the explosion, now faces a terrifying new enemy that defies explanation. Realizing the hovering drone is carrying another explosive device, panic surges through the group. The fuse is lit, its deadly countdown ticking down with every agonizing second. The man's voice cuts through the chaos, shouting in desperation, "Run! Get out now!" The urgency hits like a bolt of lightning, and the group scrambles in a frantic dash for survival. Their hearts pound as the drone hovers ominously above, its deadly payload swinging ever closer. Every second feels like a lifetime as they race against time, the ticking bomb promising devastation. The drone, relentless in its pursuit, drifts closer, casting long sinister shadows over the fleeing group. In the control room, the girl watches through the monitor, her face etched with tension and fear, her knuckles white as she grips the console. Her heart races as the countdown ticks toward disaster, each passing moment a step closer to catastrophe. With only 22 seconds left, Han Feng's eyes narrow in cold determination. This time, he mutters, his voice sharp with resolve, "I'll teach those intruders a lesson." The camera feed displays the countdown ticking mercilessly as Han Feng watches the group inch closer to their doom, unaware of the danger closing in on them. At 15 seconds, they remain blissfully oblivious to the drone's deadly approach, silently hovering above, primed for its final strike. The man in the lead pushes forward, completely unaware of the looming threat. Suddenly, the ominous hum of the drone becomes unmistakable. His eyes widen in horror as he glances up, realization crashing down. He shouts in frustration, too late to stop the impending disaster. The screen captures his frantic fall as chaos erupts, but instead of satisfaction, Han Feng's expression shifts to panic. "No," he yells, his voice breaking. "Don't let the drone get damaged." His plan teeters on the edge of failure, the countdown still ticking toward an explosive conclusion. Laser-focused on the mission's success, the man's fury ignites as the drone approaches, its deadly cargo seconds from completing its mission. Without hesitation, he swings his weapon with all his might, aiming to bring the drone down before it can finish them off. The impact is thunderous, a jarring crack that sends pieces of the drone flying, sparks erupting from its damaged frame. For a split second, victory seems within reach as the drone wobbles mid-flight, thrown wildly off balance. In the control room, the girl's voice crackles through the comms, panic gripping her. "The left side of the drone is malfunctioning, we can't stabilize it." Her words hang in the air, dread sinking in as the drone veers dangerously off course. Only 5 seconds remain on the timer. Han Feng, seeing his plan unravel, roars in frustration. "No! The drone's our only weapon!" Desperation surges as the malfunctioning drone spins out of control, threatening to fail just when the countdown hits its most critical moment. Time is running out, and their one shot at victory teeters on the brink of disaster. The countdown ticks down to 3 seconds as the drone begins to spiral wildly, plummeting out of control. Chaos explodes in the air as the situation slips through their fingers, the impending blast inching closer with every heartbeat. Panic pulses through the control room, and the girl monitoring the feed frantically shouts, "Han Feng! Stabilize it now!" Her voice is laced with urgency, but the drone, teetering on the edge of failure, spins helplessly toward disaster. With just 1 second left, the unthinkable happens. A massive explosion rips through the sky, lighting up the night in a fiery inferno. The blast engulfs everything in its path, swallowing the area in a devastating eruption of flames and shrapnel. The girl's voice trembles as she reports to Han Feng, "The right rotor's failed, it's in freefall." The drone, caught in its death spiral, descends uncontrollably, leaving them powerless to stop the wreckage from raining down, the fiery chaos consuming everything. The countdown reaches 0, and destruction takes over, the mission slipping into catastrophe. In a frenzy, Han Feng shouts, panic flooding his voice. "Find a safe place to land it, now, before it's completely destroyed." The seconds stretch into an eternity as the drone spirals toward disaster, the situation teetering on the brink of catastrophe. Just as it seems inevitable, the drone manages a narrow escape, crashing just outside a building window with a deafening thud. It barely avoids total destruction, skidding dangerously close to the edge of the structure. Through the crackling feed, the girl's voice cuts in, calm but breathless. "Emergency stop successful." Relief flickers, but it's short-lived. The drone clings precariously to the building's edge, swaying ominously as snow begins to fall steadily around it. Han Feng, his worry evident, mutters, "The drone is too important to lose. I'll have to retrieve it." His determination grows despite the perilous situation, knowing the mission depends on this delicate piece of tech. Yet, as urgency grips him, the girl remains unfazed, her voice steady as she assesses the situation. The snow falls heavier now, and the race to save the drone takes on new stakes, both the mission and their lives hanging by a thread. Her eyes glued to the screen, the girl suddenly tenses. "Wait, there's something odd about the staircase," she says, her voice tight with unease. "It looks like a body." Han Feng's expression shifts instantly from focused to shocked. He leans in, narrowing his eyes at the screen as they both try to make sense of the unexpected discovery. "Is that really a body?" he mutters, disbelief creeping into his voice. They exchange worried glances, the tension in the room rising as the mystery deepens. The camera zooms in, the image sharpening to reveal the figure lying just outside the window. Han Feng's face drains of color, his breath catching in his throat. His eyes widen in shock as he gasps, "It's Li Ji!" The realization hits like a punch. This isn't just a stranger, it's someone they both know, someone vital. The gravity of the situation intensifies instantly, the room crackling with urgency as they scramble to comprehend what's happened. Their mission has just taken a dark, unforeseen twist, and whatever lies ahead is far more dangerous than they ever imagined. Han Feng and the girl sit in stunned confusion, their eyes locked on the screen, struggling to comprehend why Li Ji's body is lying in such a strange, unexpected place. The shock begins to morph into something darker, more unsettling. Han Feng's expression hardens, his mind racing. Could Li have been attacked too? He wonders aloud, a grim edge in his voice. The weight of the situation presses down on them, the danger suddenly far more real. Concern for their safety sharpens his resolve. Han Feng turns to the girl, his tone stern and urgent. "Do not open the door for anyone while I'm gone. I have the key, I'll be back soon," he insists, his voice brimming with urgency. Every second feels like a ticking clock. He knows time is critical, but there's something far worse lurking beyond the door. As he heads toward the exit, his hand on the doorknob, Han Feng takes one last, sweeping glance around the room. His gut telling him the situation is unraveling faster than they can control. Whatever awaits him outside, he knows it's just the beginning. His mind fully locked on the mission ahead, Han Feng is about to step out when the girl approaches quickly, urgency flashing in her eyes. She thrusts a communication device into his hand. "Stay in touch no matter what," she instructs, her voice steady but filled with an undercurrent of concern. Han Feng nods gravely, gripping the device tightly. He knows all too well that in a situation this dangerous, staying connected could be the difference between life and death. Without another word, he tucks the device securely into his jacket, giving her a quick, solemn glance. "Thank you," he says, his voice low, thick with unspoken tension. As he turns away, his steps are deliberate, the weight of the moment pressing on his shoulders. In the next scene, Han Feng is seen in the shadows, readying his weapon. His hands move with practiced precision, but his expression is taut, a storm brewing beneath his calm exterior. His fingers graze the cold metal of the gun, and though every fiber of him hopes he won't need to fire, the gravity of the mission leaves no room for optimism. He knows what's at stake, and the look in his eyes is one of steely resolve. Prepared for the worst, he takes a breath, the silence before the storm heavy with anticipation.